Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the persons of Mustafa Muhammad. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is indeed thine exalted Christ. And I furthermore indeed bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our divine reminder, leader, teacher, and guide. I greet you all in the nation, greeted words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Brother Albert Muhammad and the Let Us Make Man family, as always, we like to thank you all for taking the time that you take to read our posts, sometimes lengthy, to click on our videos, and support our efforts in the plight of the black community. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. I want to take a few minutes of your time, family, to address an issue or a post or two that we recently addressed. And in addressing this post, I want us to understand or get an idea of what we're really dealing with. And we talk about bloodsuckers. We address a post dealing with comments from Fat Joe, Ice-T, Ray Lewis, and all these people that feel the desire and the will and the need to come out and counterattack the efforts of the few elite that we have that take the initiative and the stance to let their voice and their influences be heard. Colin Kaepernick took a stand. It was a humble stand. It was something that he felt that he had to do. And in taking such a stand, making a sacrifice, his career, and all that he worked for, right? Fat Joe has become a hip-hop mortal, a mogul in the hip-hop industry. Many of us support Fat Joe and his music. I wasn't really a Fat Joe fan per se, but I did support some of his music. But when I hear you make such ludicrous statements without research, how you feel about something that you may not really even understand, the national anthem, and many of those who took Colin Kaepernick's stance and try to turn it around as to say he's attacking the war veterans and things of that nature. I've heard individuals, Ray Lewis and all these guys, talking about their uncles and their aunts and all these people that fought for a flag. He was talking about the national anthem in itself, which for the fact of over the last some odd years of my life, we've only heard half of the national anthem. So by him taking such a stand, we got the full logistics of the national anthem when it was written and put out, and how it spoke against the slaves that was fighting for their freedom with the British. So in dealing with Fat Joe's statement, and come to find out when he realized that this was going to cause a problem, he immediately retracted the statement from his Twitter page and then came back with another statement trying to not so much as justify, but trying to find a better way to explain his expression. But when you open the door, you open the door, because what you really said tells us what you really felt or what you really feel, right? However, I thank Almighty God Allah, as always, for the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught today by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We have a lesson that asks us to question, who is the 10% of the poor part of the planet Earth? They're known as the rich slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor lies. Right? These are people who come around and manipulate the have-nots. It's easy to do when you're dealing with a group of people who are struggling to survive. So with Fat Joe's influence, he's capable of influencing hundreds of thousands of have-nots to believe what he's saying, along with Ice-T. Very interesting that Ice-T would write such a post or a statement. 10 reasons why black men prefer white women. Interesting. Because in my search to understand is, who you talking about, brother? What black men are you talking about? Because you can't be speaking for the whole of black men. And there's a lot of white women that would debunk that myth that Ice-T put out. But what's really going on? That the people who came up from sucking the blood of the poor, rap artists, athletes, and people of these natures, musicians, etc. Right? They became rich and famous from our support. But how is it that they feel the desire to come at us, defame us, and degrade us, and think nothing of it? We can put a stop to that, and it's not difficult at all. All of them have sponsors. All of them have supporters. That is what they thrive off of. The sponsors, be it Nike, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whomsoever they affiliate with. Fall back. We can stop them in a heartbeat, man. We can't continue to sit idly by and just write but do nothing, or just talk and do nothing. As I look at the situation, and more and more and more are coming out. Stephen, what's his name? Bear with me for a second, family. The reporter, Stephen Smith or Stephen Smith, these people don't have no conscience or remorse to what they say about us. Stephen Smith. They come at us as if to say, what? What are you going to do? Right? You cut the legs off. They sponsors. Hold them accountable. Right? This is how you deal with people like Fat Joe and whomsoever. Everybody has a right to their opinion and their views. We don't deny that. We don't look for you to agree with everything that we say. However, when your opinions become detrimental to the well-being of a body of people, then you are held accountable for what you say and what you do. We can't continue to excuse these people because they come amongst us as if to say everything is okay, or take and put a couple $100,000 in your favorite organization and you give them a pass. You don't get no pass with us. You get the actual facts as is. We can't do nothing to this Caucasian and his system until we clean out our closet, until we deal directly with those who are out there, the bloodsuckers, those that suck the blood out of the black community, and give nothing back, but be the first one to try to castrate our people when a few of our elites stand up. They don't hold no punches. See? Something that we need to think about, family. Right? We could write about Fat Joe until we blue in the face. Or we can have a major effect on his production, on his sponsors. Ray Lewis. The NFL loves putting these guys on TV, especially when they going after their own people. They love putting them on the news when they going after their own people. We have to believe, man, the power of unity, right, can be an effective tool for our people if we but believe. See? Or you can rest assured Fat Joe is not the only one that feels like that or think like that. He was bold enough to write it. I respect that. I respect that. However, we have to hold those accountable that need to be accountable for trying to stunt the growth and development of our movements towards a better society for our people. And protect those that stand up and speak out. Kaepernick is just one of hundreds. Our dear sister, Jada Pinkett Smith, spoke up. And she caught hell. I didn't see a flood of support coming from our political elite. Our righteous amongst in the communities. I didn't see these people come out and support Jada Pinkett Smith, or the people, or our people who stands up and speak out in our defense. Right? We can put a stop to this, family, if we but believe. Or we can just continue and write posts after post after post, make videos after video after video, and just speak about the same thing redundantly. Or we can take heed to the wisdom and say, you know what? That's the last rap record you're going to sell. That's the last pair of sneakers you're going to promote. That's the last news report you're going to do. Because we're going to make it difficult for these people that sponsor you to make money. Go at their sponsors, man. White people do it all the time. They know how to shut you down. I just wanted to make a brief point in regards to the post and dealing with Fat Joe and his personal opinions, Ice-T, his personal opinions about black women or black men who like white women. I could care nothing about white women in terms of relationships. Never dealt with that. Right? Our duty is to civilize the human family of the planet Earth. That's our job. There's nothing born greater than the black man and woman in this society, in this world. I'm not surprised at what Ice-T said. Because the minute he got the key to escape the quote-unquote black community, he never looked back. He never looked back. When the white man forgave him for the cop killer song he did, he decided to become an actor and be a quote-unquote great police actor. So in acting as a police officer, he he fell in love with the job in itself. So we understand Ice-T and his level of ignorance. And maybe his woman or his wife, the white woman that he's married to, should be questioning what he wrote. Because it's really degrading to her for him to say that and what he said. And it's an upliftment to black women because there's nothing greater than that. The black woman. So I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time, family, and just address those two particular posts. We have a serious problem, and the problem with black people is we're so gullible to accept any and everything that comes in our community and not question and not make sure that their intentions is good for the betterment of our community. There's many corporations that's in our community that donate nothing to our local communities, our schools, and things of that nature. But if you go into the white community, corporations donate money to the school systems, the police departments. This doesn't happen in the black community, right? So we're not bitter with Fat Joe. We understand. But we had to write and let them know we're not going to tolerate that. Let you know where we stand, brother. You can disagree as far all you want. But we know the stance for Kaepernick was a just stance in dealing with the national anthem of the United States of America, which never included black men and women because we were slaves at that point in time when they wrote this song. So they make sure that none of the laws applied to us in 2016. And this is why the killing of black men and women are so outrageous right now. From black on black crime to anybody killing blacks. And nothing is done. And this is why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is asking for 10,000 feelers to get trained up by the Nation of Islam, trained up to know how to go into your community and stand in front of the gunslingers and the dope slingers and take back our community. It's what we have to do. It's what we're trained to do. It's what we do. You see the FOI in the field continuously. Final call, bean pies, but we in the field doing our part. So we can deal with people like Fat Joe and all these other guys that come along and write these ludicrous statements to sustain their stability in the world that they're used to being in. When you're washed up, you're washed up. So now you try any and everything to stay in the limelight. But attacking us is just the wrong move, brother. It's just the wrong move. An apology is not necessary. The only thing Fat Joe can do is to change his view on the struggles of black people in America. That he needs to research and understand the trials of black people in America and what black people have endured. Because none of these Negroes would be successful if not for the slaves that was brought here and went through all that they went through the Middle Passage. Listen to me good. I'm talking about before they landed on the shores of America. All that they endured through the Middle Passage getting here. So that you can have the liberty and the freedom to sing and dance and cut up and do all the things that you can do off of the backs of men and women of the African American communities that died and sacrificed their lives. But that wouldn't mean nothing to Fat Joe, Ray Lewis, Ice-T, Stephen Smith, all these people that come out and speak against our struggle. Then look at little brothers like myself and you who wants to take a stand as though you're insufficient, but know this for a surety. You are great in the eyes of the God that you bear witness to. So never ever think less of yourself, because you may not be as recognized, because the God that you bear witness to, whomsoever that is, recognize your good intentions and your pure intentions to set a better society, a better community for our next generations to come. We have to stop this now. Or, as I said in the past, our future generations will wind up going through the same vicious cycle, having the same type of vicious conversations 30 years from now. How to stop black on black crime. How to stop anybody from killing blacks at will. How to stop a corrupt judicial system that fails to give justice to the children of the slaves. But if you look in her constitution, she made sure that you would never get equal justice under her constitution. Whether you have a house full of Negroes in the White House or you have none, you'll still never get justice. And for all those who have a desire to be the first black to do this, the first black to do that, the first black to do this, do you not understand how you setting yourself up? Because being the first black in a social equality that doesn't include us doesn't mean nothing. Having the first black president in America over the last 8 years didn't mean nothing to us. Nothing. And that's a reality. I don't know nothing about the president of the United States personally. I never met him. I thank God that he was able to gain the honor and the prestige that he was seeking, and he was able to provide for his family. But in doing so, justice for those under him was not served. It's not served. When you could go on YouTube and you can see in the Bronx, New York, which is where Fat Joe is from, the police in the Bronx, New York, beating teenagers viciously. No justice. Viciously, welling on them. No justice. Under a black administration, then you know that we have a serious problem in our communities. So these are the pointers that we need to ask our people to consider as we struggle to get our people to understand and accept where we're coming from. Because as long as you continue to believe what you believe and the way you believe it, Fat Joe, there'll never be no justice for our people. Stephen Smith, Ray Lewis, all these guys who have a chance or had got the chance to be successful, earn some monies, and provide for their families. See, you never see these people in the communities. You don't see them at the rallies. You don't hear them standing up for what is right. They only speak out when someone else stands up for what is right, and then they speak against that person. I'm sure, family, you can relate to where I'm coming from. Our job as a unit, as a family, me, you, and I, is to eliminate these vicious cycles and these devils from amongst us, these bloodsuckers. Take back what we gave them and all the success that they see, that they gain off of our trials, sacrifices. I want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to share. I pray, Almighty God Allah, I said something of good, and what I said may not have offended anyone. If so, I ask Almighty God Allah to watch over you and watch over myself as we strive to bring you the best that we can bring you on behalf of Brother Abba Muhammad, and to let us make man family. But I wanted to make this video because I wanted to make a statement in regards to the post pertaining to Fat Joe and Ice-T. Rap artists that gain millions of dollars from the sweat and blood of brothers and sisters that came up in that era, only for them to turn around in a time where we really need their support, that they would go against the grain. But notice for a surety, when you plan, believe you me, Allah is the best of planners. Thank you for listening. I leave you as I came before you. And the nation greet the words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.